Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Flawless 195 World Tour. This is flight 109 of 218. So again, this marks the halfway point in the World Tour. We've been at halfway for about 4 or 5 flights now. So I'd like to get on with the second half of the World Tour if possible. But yeah, it's been tweaked a little bit in the last few flights. But we have got the Seychelles leg done and dusted. We are now back in northern Madagascar at Andrakaka Navy Base. But this is it now. Who knew that Madagascar would be such a base for this World Tour? I think there's been 6 occasions where we've either landed or taken off from Madagascar. So with that being said, this will be the final time we'll see Madagascar in the World Tour. Who knew this would be such a stop-off? I didn't, but it's turned out to be a bit of a base for this half-time sort of excursions that we've had. And whilst we've been on the ground here as well, building myself up to the Seychelles leg that we did a couple of days ago, I have tweaked the World Tour as well. If you haven't seen the 7 flights added video, it's now become 8 flights added because we didn't go on to Comoros. We just came back here from the Seychelles because I didn't have a route to Comoros. So, and it was at night, so it would have been pretty tricky to sort of guesstimate where Comoros is and go for it. So we just came straight back here. So we just did Seychelles and back on Sunday. And now finally we'll leave Madagascar for good. We'll leave it behind us and now head for Comoros. This is flight 109, Andrakaka to Moroni, capital of Comoros. We're heading for Prince Said Ibrahim Airport, which is on the northwest coast, of Comoros, the main island. Moroni, the capital, is actually further south. But it's still classed as Moroni, interestingly, the airport. So that suits me. Flight time is expected to be about 50 minutes. So what will be, climbing for 20 minutes, cruising for about 1/4 an hour and then back down. So that suits me as well. Under an hour for the flight. Yeah, 50 to 55 minutes, I'm guesstimating. Now, we have got ILS in as well, which I haven't used, or we haven't had available, or haven't used for a good, I don't know, 20, 30 flights, something like that. ILS is something that I've just sort of shrugged off and just created my own descent in for the majority of the flights in the African leg, actually, to be honest. But we have got ILS available, so I thought, right, we'll use that. Let's play it safe. Let's play it safe into Comoros. But yeah, flight 109. Local time, we're 3 hours ahead of the UK, so local departure time is set to be about 2:30 p.m. in the afternoon. And with that being said, let's get the safety demo on. Let's get this plane set up. And Comoros represents halfway in the World Tour. Mauritius was halfway, Seychelles was halfway, Madagascar was halfway. Comoros is now halfway. 218 flight, up from 200. Originally, it was 209 flights. It went up to 210 when I did a recount. And then I have added 7 more, went up to 217. But then from the Seychelles, we didn't go directly to Comoros, so I've added another flight in. So 218 flight. Hopefully, that is the final tot-up. Hopefully, that is the final count. 218 flights. I don't see the need to divide any more flights up. I feel like that could be the final count, 218 flights. So let's get on with flight 109. We have survived the Seychelles leg, even though it was a dirt runway. We got it down. We were bouncing all over the place because that runway was not even. If you haven't seen the landing into the Seychelles, go and have a look. But even more, have a look at the takeoff out of the Seychelles. Instead of running it back down this uneven dirt track, I decided, right, the field to the right of it was a little bit flatter, more smooth, and so we took off from the fields on the right-hand side of the runway coming out. I did think this could damage the landing gear, 150 knots over some fields, but it didn't. We got up in the air and we got back, albeit there was a little bit of a detour as well coming in here, and I originally took off with the idea of heading straight for Comoros, but as soon as I took off, I thought, hang on, I haven't set that flight up because I can't set the flight up because I can't save the game in the Seychelles. I should have thought of that. Anyway, I didn't, so I played it safe, thought, no, let's just come back where we came from. So we went Seychelles and back to here, and now finally we are leaving Madagascar for the final time. But yeah, we've been sort of back and forth from Madagascar for the last half dozen flights. So we are finally heading out. We're heading due west, heading back for the African mainland, heading back for Tanzania. With the Comoros is like a stop off in the middle, so we're going to Comoros, and then another flight west will see us into Tanzania and back onto the African mainland before heading up the eastern coast, heading up north up the eastern coast, and then heading into the Middle East. So yeah, whilst this coach decides whether he's going backwards, forwards, roundabout, or whatever, let's get the plane set up, get the safety demo on, and let's get out of it. Right, I don't know what I'm doing in-flight entertainment-wise, but we'll find some YouTube videos along the way. Like I say, it's only going to be a 50-minute flight, so yeah, let's get it dealt with. Also, another slight little update is I am on a new internet provider today. From now on, it should be a quicker, touch wood, it's a faster internet connection, a better internet. We'll see. When I was setting up the flight, the internet connection actually dropped out for a few seconds and then came back. Connection lost. I was like, it's not a great start. But anyway, supposedly the internet should be faster. So what's that mean? Less lag, more detail on the ground? We'll find out. Hopefully everything is as it was, because actually there wasn't a lot of lag in the first half of the World Tour. It's actually been pretty smooth. We've not had internet dropping out or big issues. So hopefully that continues. Hopefully things even better, even more detail on the ground, and everything runs smoothly. Fingers crossed, touch wood, and all the rest of it. So let's get on with it now, and welcome back to the Flawless 195 World Tour. We are finally leaving Madagascar. Let's get on to Comoros, heading for Prince Said Ibrahim Airport. 50-minute flight. Let's do it.
Please pay attention to illuminated signs and crew instructions, including the following safety procedures. The safety card found in your seat pocket contains important information about exit routes, oxygen masks, life jackets, and the brace position that you must adopt if you hear brace, brace. There are 8 emergency exits on this aircraft. The cabin crew are now pointing out the exits nearest to you. Please be aware that your nearest usable exit may be behind you. Emergency lighting will guide you to an exit. In an emergency, leave all baggage on board. Your seatbelt is fastened, adjusted, and released as shown. It must be fastened when the seatbelt signs are on, and we recommend that you keep it fastened at all times. If the air supply fails, masks will drop from above you. Pull a mask towards you to start the oxygen. Put the mask over your nose and mouth and breathe normally. Hold the mask in place with the strap. Pull on each side to adjust. Put on your own mask before helping others. If we land on water, take a life jacket from under your seat. Remove from the pouch and put it over your head. Pass the tapes around your waist and click together. Pull the strap to adjust. Do not inflate it inside the aircraft. When outside, inflate it by pulling the toggle. If it fails to inflate or needs topping up, blow into this tube. There is a light and whistle for attracting attention. The cabin crew can assist you with life jackets for children. Your tray table must now be stowed, armrests down, window blinds open, and seatbelt fastened. Further information regarding your safety on board can be found in the in-flight magazine. We hope you have a great flight.
Cabin crew seats for takeoff and waving one final goodbye to Madagascar. Let's go.
Hello, welcome to another episode of the F1. Is it time for Lewis Hamilton to hang it up? There's a phrase often trotted out about high-level sports stars and when to call it a day, that most don't retire from the sport they love. They allow it to retire them. Is Lewis Hamilton now, at the ripe old age of nearly 41, at risk of something similar, Pete?
Well, if he retires and Fernando Alonso wins the World Championship next year in an Adrian Newey car, age what, 44? Yeah. How's Lewis going to feel? Not very good, I think. So I don't think the age is a factor, as I've said all along. We're assuming Lewis went to Ferrari for three reasons. One, because he was bored and annoyed by everything that was going on at Mercedes. Two, he loved the feel of going to Ferrari. As a racing kid, you always want to drive for Ferrari, and that's fair enough. And three, a lot of money. Now, the Mercedes thing's worked out okay. I'm sure he's glad he's not there anymore. I think the money thing has probably worked out okay, and assuming they haven't paid him in cryptocurrency or something horrendous. But the third one, the Ferrari thing, he's got it completely wrong, because he went there, I think, it was just a given that he would be right there with Charles, and sometimes Charles might be a little bit ahead, but he'd be racing Charles, and if the car's capable of winning, he'll have his fair share of race wins. And don't even think about that, and you enjoy the pasta and everything. But of course, the whole problem is, as predicted, that Charles was always going to blow him away, because he got blown away by George at Mercedes. So there was no way he was going to go into Ferrari and beat Charles. He's even better than George. And so it's proved. And because Lewis never anticipated that, he had no ammunition with which to cope. He couldn't retaliate in any way. He didn't know what to do. It never happened to him before. And that's where we find him. And I think the only way he can continue now is if he forgets about all that Charles business and just tries to enjoy his life at Ferrari and hope that they have a really good, easy car to drive next year, and he'll be fine. Because I think it's too late now for Lewis to become a driver capable of beating Charles Leclerc. He could have done it if he'd worked hard at it over the winter last year, in the anticipation that it was going to be difficult to beat Charles. But quite clearly, the thought never occurred to him, and therefore he didn't do any work over the winter as a driver. He did a lot of other work, presumably, or whatever he did over the winter, I don't know. But it's too late now, I think. It's too ingrained in what he does quite badly ever to make any changes now. So the only way he can continue would be if he just floats through it all and enjoys it all, and he's relaxed, and he's not, is he? I mean, he's got that terrible supercilious, cynical thing now where you try and talk to him, and he thinks it's quite clever not to give any decent answers because John Elkann has suddenly said the drivers talk too much. I mean, that's just juvenile in my opinion, and he should never have. He should never have allowed John Elkann to say that, because I think John was the guy that got him in the first place, so they're obviously pretty close. But beyond that, he should be saying, well, John Elkann has said that, but the reality is I do want to talk about the car, and we're not going to make progress unless people understand what the problems are, and just talk to people like adults, and everything would be fine. But all this sort of hiding away with a smirk, saying, oh, the weather's going to be good or something, it doesn't achieve anything, I don't think.
It's not very edifying. But if I play defense on Sir Lewis, I can't. I don't want to overlay on Sir Lewis Hamilton a Peter Windsor level of eloquence in the first instance. I think that would be. I think I'd be doing Lewis Hamilton a disservice to expect that of him. But I don't know else. I don't know what else he can do. I don't know what else I expect Lewis Hamilton to do, Peter. I mean, he's desperately trying to change the working culture.
Just be a human being. He's a 7 times world champion with $1 trillion in the bank account. He's got the greatest life on the planet. He's driving a beautiful Ferrari racing car. Relax. And the more he relaxes and enjoys his life, I guarantee the better he will drive. And just he's done all that stuff. He's done all the brand stuff. He's done all the money stuff. Just become a racing driver again. Use this time, this last period in his life as a racing driver at Ferrari, to become the kid who was so good at Rye House and Butmore Park, and go out and be that driver. Have the same helmet colour. Rediscover yourself and become that driver. Don't be the brand ambassador for Lewis Hamilton. Don't be the brand ambassador for Ferrari. Just be this racing driver. That's what the best advice I could give him. And it's quite simple, really. But I don't think he's going to do that, sadly. I think he's just too big a phenomenon in his own mind now, probably.
You know, Peter, I'm not even sure. I think we might be asking Lewis to do impossible things here. Can you unwind that back? Can you overtype all of the trauma on the back of 2021 and getting beat by George when you didn't expect it, asking Toto to keep Valtteri Bottas and he says no, we're going to usher in the new era with George, and now getting as of the time of writing 78 points, more than 3 race wins between him and Charles. I don't think you go through those and can even be the same person. I think Whitehouse Sir Lewis is gone, never to be seen again. Peter, I think I as a Sir Lewis Hamilton fan am expecting him to do impossible things. I don't think 2018 Singapore Sir Lewis, I'm not sure we'll ever see that chap again, Peter, sadly.
No, I think there's a cataclysmic change after Abu Dhabi 21. And I did say that at the time. I thought, I think I did one live stream and said I wouldn't be surprised if he retires now because too many things have happened here. This is too big a shock to lose the championship the way he did, and then to have Mercedes say, you can't have Valtteri Bottas, you've got to have George Russell, and then to give him a ridiculously bad car. So there was a triple whammy there, and it was almost impossible to recover. But my point is, he got to the end of that, and he did go through the next 2 or 3 years, and then he did get the big offer from Ferrari, and that was the moment to rediscover himself, to get rid of all that stuff, and then to become Ryehouse Buckmore Park again, and to be Lewis Hamilton. Yes, with the massive retainer. Yes, with the red Ferrari and the beautiful badge and the pasta and the country and the road cars. But ultimately, the pure Lewis Hamilton racer who we know and love. But he didn't do that. Because that Lewis Hamilton would have looked very carefully at Charles Leclerc and said, right, how am I going to beat this guy? But he didn't do that quite clearly because he didn't work on a lot of the driving flaws that had built up in his repertoire in those last 2 years at Mercedes. And that's the problem. Last 3 years, actually. 2, 3, 4, yeah. Last 3 years. And that's the problem. He didn't work hard enough over the winter on his driving. And as you say, is it too late now? I think it probably is. The only way I think he can go forward now, if he doesn't want to retire, is to just be relaxed, enjoy life, enjoy being a racing driver, preferably get a nice little apartment in Maranello and hang out with the guys in this 1 year of his life, give it the best shot he's got, be there every day, go and have lunch at the Cavallino with whoever, and just be relaxed with everybody. Yeah. And let the cards fall where they may. He's obviously not going to do much work on his driving as such, and not much is going to change at Ferrari in terms of strategy calls or management because, they've missed the boat on all that. It's interesting just reflecting on the Adrian Newey team principal thing, which, as I said, I think he's been a team principal for a long time, except in name, and good on Aston Martin for realizing that finally and doing that. And they'll get the best from Adrian now. But they're going to have to take a lot of stuff from Adrian, including Lawrence Stroll. That's, that'll be an interesting battle. But it does kind of explain why Ferrari didn't hire Adrian Newey in the end, because I guess they sensed that that's what would have happened, and Freddie might have lost his job and Adrian would have taken over the whole thing. Now, if I was John Alcon, I would have said, well, yeah, okay, good, do it, if that's what it takes. But I guess too many people realised that if Adrian came, they might lose their jobs or things would be difficult for them. And so, therefore, the whole thing was knocked on the head. I think that's a mistake, but then, that's just me. I think the money that Lewis made Ferrari in terms of the stock price going up versus the money they're paying him, I think a lot more money would have been made by Ferrari had they hired Adrian Newey and kept Carlos Sainz. Even if running Adrian had its own costs built in, 2 years down the road, that company would have been worth a lot more than it is worth now because of the success. Ferrari win another world championship. What would that do for their success? That's much more important than a short-term stock price elevation due to hiring Lewis Hamilton, in my opinion. And having a great racing car is what it's all about. And Adrian would have given them that, but they said no. And so that was that. And he went to Aston Martin. Great shame for Ferrari, but that's where it is. You've got to make the most of it now.
Hello, welcome to another episode of the F1 Hour. With me as always, my friend and yours, the goatiest of all F1 minds to have ever goated. How are you doing, good sir?
I'm fine.
But what we're witnessing right now from Declan Rice, I think is revolutionary.
Oh no, that's you've gone way too far. Revolutionary.
He's on track for a Ballon d'Or. If we win the league, if we win the league,
That's a big if.
Some people are saying, could he come back in on a big horse and save Liverpool and turn the season around? Absolutely no chance.
At our top level, we can compete with anyone. Everyone wants to dismiss the Club World Cup, but we dismiss PSG like they were nothing.
There's very few times where you're able to say it's good to be a Sunderland fan, but Jesus, it's good to be a Sunderland fan at the moment.
It's like the world is watching and waiting for us to drop points.
We're talking prior as well. Are we going to play Vissa? No, we're not. I really
You're
don't
so
think
rattled.
that's going to end up.
You're so rattled.
He's rattled, isn't he?
He's so rattled.
He is rattled.
No one's even mentioned Villa as a potential challenger to Arsenal.
I think we deserve far more respect than we get.
It's Liverpool and City. These are, when you're talking about the big dogs, sorry, I will include Villa there as well. When you're talking...
I think that the only reason Amorim is still in the job is because of Arteta.
Not everything's about Arsenal. I promise you, bro. I promise you, bro. Not everything is about...
Hello and welcome back to the Fan Debate, brought to you by Sky Bet. And we've got two new faces on the fan terrace today. It's Kwaku here from Chelsea, and we've got Felix from Fulham. Yeah?
Yep.
I've got this here, Felix.
Fantastic, mate. Thank you.
I'm going to get that in. So go on, tell us about it.
Right, so I'm a musician, yeah? And last year we were on tour, and I was having a bit of a weird day in about August. And the thing that I do, probably everyone else in this room does, is if you're having a weird day, you go and find football. And we were playing Kendal Calling, and I looked it up, and Penrith was the nearest game. So I go to find out I've got time between stage to get to Penrith, watch a 3 o'clock game, and then get back to Kendal Calling. It turns out it's the extra preliminary round of the FA Cup. So I watch this game, get airbrushed out of it. Like, you know, when you watch non-league football, and from outside of it, you're like watching football for the first time, remembering why you love the game. Watch this game, then I realise in Penrith, there's no Ubers. You can't get anywhere out of Penrith to Kendal Calling. I've got 1 hour to get to stage, asking all the 200 people there, can you give me a lift to stage at Kendal Calling? I can't get back. Eventually, this nice old man does it. I get in his car. It's Billy Williams, the chairman of...
Well, as you saw there, the internet connection did drop out for a few seconds, and that might have messed it up completely in terms of how the terrain renders in. It might be rendering in on a sort of offline mode, even though it did, I think, briefly disconnect and then reconnect. It might have messed up the way it loads in the terrain, so it might be coming into something that looks like Minecraft Island at this rate. Hopefully not, but I think once it sort of drops its internet connection, it then goes into this offline mode, and I don't think it sort of re-establishes the graphics after that. I think once it drops, even for a second, I think that's it. So we'll see what it looks like, but don't expect high detail now into Comoros. It's not a good start considering I've got this new internet that's supposed to be super high speed and all the rest of it. I did do an internet test and it said, yeah, high speed internet and everything, but why is it drop connection? That hasn't happened at any point in the world tour thus far on the old internet. And flight 1 of this new internet and the connection drops mid-flight. Not ideal, because now this island's probably going to be loading in with about 10 polygons and probably look like a PlayStation 1 game from the late 90s, but we'll have a look. But yeah, I don't expect it to be HD, as long as we've got a runway and we get down. But yeah, not a great start on the internet front, really. Yeah, I can already see from here it's not looking like a detailed island. I can already tell from here it's no, it's not looking good. But it is what it is. Hopefully it's a problem that doesn't occur every single flight. That's all I can hope, really. Because it's not a good start, is it? Oh, you've been chilling with this Christmas theme music as well. A bit of Harry Potter at Christmas, and this is Skyrim winter, but yeah, not a great first impression for the new Wi-Fi, is it? Because it's going to have messed it up. Let's switch that off now. Actually, I had enough of that. Yeah, it's not a great first impression for the Wi-Fi. I'm not going to lie, because it's now going to load in this island in PS1 graphics. I can already see that it's nowhere near the quality that it should be, because we're in sort of offline mode. I don't think there's a way I can sort of. I don't think there's a sort of a way I can. Oh, ATC, I could turn that off. You could switch weather off with the flick of a button. Objectives. Yeah, it is what it is, I think. It is what it is. Hopefully this doesn't happen every flight. But yeah, Comoros is not going to be in full HD. Put it that way. What a shame. What a shame, because we've had no problems. You think you're upgrading, but you're actually creating problems. So get in. Anyway, let's get down. Anyway, set it to go 7, and then once we get to 7, we'll have a look. Let's have a look here. I think by the time we get to CH502, we want to be at 3,000 feet, don't we? Let's play it by ear. But yeah, not great, is it? Look, as you can see the island more and more clearly as we're coming in, obviously, I can tell that this is not. Oh, is it starting to? Yeah. Oh God, it might be a bit half and half. Yeah, you can see there the terrain loading in there. What a mess. Not ideal. Not what I was looking for, really. I was hoping that it was going to be a better. I thought, all right, let's get the 2025 graphics on the world tour. Let's upgrade. Not a good first impression. It is what it is. Hopefully this doesn't happen every flight. Hopefully it's a one-off. But yeah, I can see this cropping up in the second half of the World Tour, where it drops connection. I don't know why. As you can see there, the terrain just loading in mile by mile as we fly over it. Yeah, this is not what we've become used to. What a shame. What a shame. What a shame. Yeah, it is like Minecraft Island, isn't it, down there? Look. Minecraft Island. Oh, fucking shit. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. Oh, no. I really do hope this is a one-off, because that is tragic. That is tragic. So much for high-speed internet. Tragic, mate. Right, so we're getting towards 7 now. So that's the game, yeah. We've still got a plane to land, haven't we? We've still got a plane to land, don't forget that. You know, whether it's on a full HD island or a PlayStation 1 version of Comoros, we've still got to land it, so don't take your eye off the ball. Right, where are we? Let's have a see. Let's have a think. All right, we just head straight for 3,000 feet now. We're not going to hit anything, are we? Anyway. Yeah, we might as well just head straight for 3,000 and go from there. I don't see any downside in that. Just try and find some different music. Just something a bit more upbeat. Put you to sleep, I know, with the Christmas lullabies. La 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 la. I don't know. I don't really know. Polar Express soundtrack. Christmas with Tchaikovsky. Get in. Oh, Denver refused to play this on his stream the other night. I'm having it on. Hey. 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 Song of the year. Enya. You to back it up and dug it. Oh, what a shame it's dropped the internet connection. What a letdown that is. We've not had that once during the entire tour. What a letdown. What a fucking letdown that is. Hopefully it doesn't happen every time, but have we got some sort of a hill here in between us and the runway? What's loading in here? A volcano or what? What's just loaded in? Oh no, we're nowhere near landing anyway. Not great. Hopefully it's a one-off. You ain't fucking with my doggy. Look at this. What a letdown this is. What a letdown. There's no way I can like reboot the sort of internet connection, is there, like mid-driller? Oh, this is tragic. This is tragic, mate. Oh my god, bro. What year is this? What year is this? Nah. Oh my god.
Looked at me funny. Bitch, you can't tell me nothing. Star made the beat and I just took it out the oven. I just see the Dougie and everybody clubbing, and I hate skinny jeans cause the burger keep rubbing. Taste me how to duck, taste me how to duck, taste me how to duck, taste me how to duck. All my bitches love, all my bitches love, all my bitches love. You ain't fucking with my Dougie. Taste me how to duck, taste me how to duck, taste me how to duck, taste me how to duck.
We'll sit it down anyway, but hopefully this isn't a problem that crops up every flight, because it's already doing my head in and it's only happened once. Let's catch the ILS. Okay, good. Flaps 1. Not used ILS for a long time either. As long as the runway's loaded in, we'll be alright, but yeah, it's not graphics quality out of the window. What a shame. Baby, I have what you want. Come get your honey. Right, we're full flaps now. So I'll wait for 1,000 feet, then we'll take autopilot off. Come in the golden, down in the deep, the honey sweet air. It's not what I envisioned with this high-speed internet. But this is the problem, even if it just drops out for a second, it just fucks everything up. It just fucks everything up. Even if it just flicks off and back on, it just fucks everything up. Case in point, PS1 graphics. Oh my god, this is tragic. This is really going to put a damper on the second half of the World Tour if this is what this is the experience. Talk about taking the wind out of my sails. Literally. It wouldn't be so bad if it dropped out, alright, reconnects and then goes back to normal graphics, but the fact that it just fucks up the rest of the flight is such a ball ache. Right. Cabin crew seats for landing. Oh mate, what a fucking letdown. Anyway, let's get this thing down. I've got your honey, baby, every color and everything. Let's get it down anyway. But yeah, it's not what I want to be experiencing This is not why I started the World Tour. I would not have started a World Tour if I knew this was going to be the graphics. Not a chance, mate. This is pathetic. Anyway, let's get it down on whatever runway it's decided to load in on offline mode. Fucking bollocks. Right, let's line her up nicely. Still got a plane to land. Middle of the runway would have been nicer. Just about kept it on there. Can we make this taxiway, please? Can't be bothered going up and down. And this PS1 runway. Right, there you go. We're down. Consider me utterly pissed off with the fact that I've got this new high-speed internet and the connection dropped about halfway across, and thus here we are on Minecraft Island on fucking 1997 graphics. Yeah, I'm hoping this is not a common occurrence. I'm hoping this is the one and only time it happens, to be honest. Because if I take off from here, go to Tanzania, and it happens again, mate, it's really going to take the wind out of my sails. I don't need this, you know what I mean? Like, come on, man. This is pathetic. Anyway, we're down on the ground. Let's not hit this tanker. We're down on the ground. Flight 109 of 218 is complete. So this is now the new halfway point. I know I've probably said that for the last half dozen flight. We're halfway. And another flight. We're halfway through. Another flight. This is the halfway point. But no, I'm pretty sure now. Let's just try and not hit anything and just... Oh, I'm pissed off, mate, to be honest. Alright. Come on then, this'll do. What a shit show, really. But there we are, we're down in whatever this is, mate, because it's not Comoros, it's some version of Comoros that was... Anyway, here we are. Welcome to Moroni. We're actually a few miles north of Moroni. We probably flew over Moroni, which was like that gaggle of buildings over there. Anyway, there you go. We're down in some capacity in whatever this is. Made on Microsoft Paint in 1999. Fucking get in. Right, okay. Not what I wanted. And I hope it's not going to be a common problem, this, because it really is going to take the wind off my sails. Anyway, get your seatbelts on and take them off again. How long did it take? So I guesstimated about 50 minutes, 52 minutes, something like that. Let's find out. 56 minutes and 50 seconds. We are down on the ground. And, yeah. Thank you for watching. Thank you for joining. It's really puts the dampers on it, that. You know, I don't be flying around the world in fucking PS1 graphics, mate. It's not the plan. It's not a good start for the new Wi-Fi, but we are down on the ground at Prince Said Ibrahim Airport, or some pathetic representation of Prince Said Ibrahim Airport. Local time, 3:30 in the afternoon. The outside air temperature is 27 degrees. Please do join me for the next flight 110 to Dodoma, Tanzania, for as we head back to the African mainland and then start heading up the eastern coast and heading for the Middle East. But thank you for joining. This is now the new halfway point in the Flawless 195 World Tour. We have finally said goodbye to Madagascar, and we've said goodbye to reliable Wi-Fi as well, by the sounds of it. So yeah, absolutely brilliant. So get in. Right. So much for fucking... It's going to be so much better, so much faster. So yeah. But if it drops for a second halfway through a flight, everything's fucked. Right, anyway, with that being said, join me for flight 110 to Tanzania. That is all from me. And even though it is PlayStation 1 graphics from the late 90s, the World Tour continues. Hopefully this doesn't happen every single flight, else it's really going to put the dampers on me. But right, anyway, see you for the next one. Bye for now. We are alive. The plane's in one piece and the World Tour continues. That's the main thing. See you next time. Bye for now.